Alright there folks, back again for another video. In this one we're going to be having a look at the new miniatures that were revealed for the Stormcast Eternals Prosecutors that are going to be soaring onto the battlefield to do battle in the new edition of Warhammer Age of Sigmar. One of the big things they've talked about recently is that they're going to be completely revamping a lot of the stuff when it comes to Age of Sigmar and the Stormcast Eternals in particular. Loads of the old models are going away and they're going to be replaced by new designs and things like that, although the entire of the Sacrosanct Chamber is going to be vanishing into the ether, or heading back to Azir, as they said quite colourfully in their article. Not too bad necessarily. It's a bit of a shame that a lot of the stuff is going to effectively go out of use after about a year, but if you've got friendly tournaments and things like that, people are no doubt going to let you play games with them anyway, so I wouldn't worry too much on that front. But pretty much everything from the Stormcast Eternals range is going to be getting a Thunderstrike update, and that's what we saw here. This is the new design for the Prosecutors as they stand at the moment. Interesting looks. I much prefer the sleeker armour design. I think it works really nicely. I've always said that about the Thunderstrike armour anyway. I think it looks quite cool. It's more, again, in line with the stuff that we would have seen from when John Blanche was doing a lot of his work in the concept stage for Warhammer Age of Sigmar. In this case, you can see that they've got the, I guess, the Stormcaller javelins and the shields there. The wings have also obviously been changed, and they've also changed the headdresses as well. Rather than having plumes and stuff out of the back of them, instead they've gone for that kind of like ridge of spikes, which obviously fits in with that slightly more grim, dark aesthetic for the Stormcast Eternals at the moment as well. And also you've got the open helms, although as you can see here they are going to be doing closed helms, and closed helms will come on the sprues when you build these, so they are an option. They've confirmed that on Facebook, on social media, and also I think at the bottom of this article as well. But overall, nice new designs, less over the top and flamboyant, I would say. The original kind of like sunburst wings, as you can see there, were a pain in the ass to paint. I mean, I quite like them, but I think I prefer the new designs. This is obviously going to paint up a lot better and a lot easier for people, which I think is great when this is going to be your starter army. I also like the immediate separation between the wing elements and then the fire coming off it as well. So you can have a lot of fun when it comes to wet blending that, and then just do that in your standard white effectively and get away with it, which I think is a nice little touch. Obviously twin that with your metallics and stuff, and away you go, really. It's not been sort of said whether or not they're going to get the Celestial Hammers this time around. All we've seen is the spears. So it'll be interesting to see what they get on that front. But otherwise, not too bad looking miniatures. Just make you sick there as I go back and forth. The other thing I really like, these, I guess we call them pennants or scripture or whatever, that was hanging down before and anchoring these miniatures to the bases. It made them very springy and all over the place. It was not great for transportation or stability and anything else in between. The other thing was that the fact that the way that these wings were built meant that trying to get them into coherency was, well, you could do it, but it meant that everyone was going to be rubbing up against each other and bits were going to get intertwined with each other and stuff like that, and it was just a little bit of a pain in the ass to move them around. I think the new designs are a lot more sort of aerodynamic and look interesting. Again, I really like the new grimdark style to these. I think it's a really nice touch. The only thing I would change is just making sure that they didn't have the faces. I think I'd immediately go for the helmets, especially because I'm going to be doing Anvils of the Heldenhammer, so I want more of those kind of masked faces. So I can do like the white cream helmets to sort of work with the Anvils of the Heldenhammer. But otherwise, pretty good miniatures. Really like the look of them. Think the updates to the wings are a good step in the right direction. I also like that they're not now just sort of wanging around, that's now a word, on those sort of pennants and stuff, and instead they've been sort of attached to a little bit of more sturdy terrain, I suppose we should say. They feel a little bit more compact and should look really nice on the tabletop. I would assume this one, where do they have the prime? So that one will be your prime with that slightly more ostentatious weapon and the head frills. And then we have these folks with the normal spears there as well, which look a lot like the Vindictor spears. except they've changed the ends of them with a comet design when they summon these from the ether, as it were. We also got a little bit of additional information about the Runination Chamber and the Prosecutors. So one of the big things was that the Runination Chamber, when you use these on the tabletop, have got a new ability. So this is once per turn for your army reaction. This unit was picked as the target of a non-core ability. Make a resistance roll on d6 on a 4+. That ability has no effect on this unit. So this is because the Ruination Chamber, as you can see above, have gone through so many cycles of regeneration and reforging that they've become very resistant to the powers of chaos and everything like that. And so they can shrug off even the most deadly of abilities used against them, which I think is quite nice. The other thing they've got, obviously makes sense. They're a winged unit. They're going to be moving further. They're going to be charging into combat. So Heralds of Righteousness is their new passive ability, which makes sense. Effect, add 1 to the number of dice rolled when making charge rolls for this unit to a maximum of 3. So rather than having a maximum charge distance of 12 inches, you've actually got 18 inches, which is fantastic and makes a whole lot of sense. But yeah, Stormcall Javelins are what they're going to be armed with. Nice, new and interesting designs, I think, overall. It'd be interesting to hear what you think in the comments down below. Do you like the new look of the Stormcast Prosecutors? Do you prefer the older designs, which we saw here? Are you hoping that we're going to get some with hammers as well as the spears? Or do you think they're all going to be focused specifically on spears at the moment? It was quite interesting. I had a look online to see if I could find Prosecutors. The only ones I could find were those, and they were the ones that came out of the Start Collecting set for Stormcast Eternals, which is very, very, very old at this point. That's the one that I had when the game initially launched way back in the day. So yeah, interesting that they're kind of immediately being phased out to be replaced by these. Yeah, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do you like the look of these miniatures? Do you think they are a good upgrade? Are you tempted by Stormcast Eternals potentially as an army for the new edition? Make sure to drop your comments down below. And yeah, I'm going to move on and get ready for another video. And I'll see you guys very, very soon. Bye for now.